Hello, leader. Do you have a team that doesn't sit still? You might be leading people who don't sit at a desk. They're out in the field, behind the wheel, on the shop floor, or on their feet, getting the job done. But here's the challenge. When your team is always on the move, staying connected, supported, and aligned takes more than a quick email or Slack message to check in. In today's episode, I'm sharing the must-have support tools that every leader of a deskless team needs to have in place so that you can lead effectively, even when your team is scattered across job sites, vehicles, or production lines, even store locations. If you want to boost retention, morale, and performance for your mobile or frontline team members, this one's for you. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Stacking Your Team podcast, smart leadership for women who mean business. If you're a woman who owns an established business with a team of 5 or more, and you're ready to lead with more confidence, clarity, and impact, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Shelley Warren. Each episode delivers practical strategies to help you build a high-performing team and become the leader your business needs next. Let's get started with this reminder. The team that got you here may not be the team that will get you there. Okay, let's start with this. Deskless leadership is different. It just is. Here's why. Most leadership advice assumes teams are in office or behind screens, but deskless leaders make up over 80% of the global workforce, and they're often the most disconnected. If they feel unsupported or out of the loop, their level of trust towards you and their performance will take a hit. So take it from someone who worked in retail and in manufacturing, where I saw and lived it firsthand. Not all roles come with a desk. Other careers that don't come with a desk are things like real estate agents, healthcare professionals who provide in-home services, property management, or property improvement services. Anyone who operates a vehicle, such as a school bus, truck drivers, delivery service providers, mobile vets, and many people who are in sales. These career opportunities often lend themselves to co-work share space memberships so that team members can jump on a team call, check their emails, write up their notes, finalize a sales order, or do their time tracking or expenses in a quiet place where they can sit and think and get away from their normal day to follow up on a problem. So here are some real challenges that deskless workers face. The first one is lack of real-time communication with peers or their leader. I mean, sure, you can jump on a video app, but nothing beats in-person conversations and connections with people you work with. The second one is infrequent recognition from their peers or their leaders. Now, this happens mainly because they're probably working alone or physically away from where their leader is. Another challenge is not having any access to shared digital tools. I mean, yes, you can do a lot on a device with apps, but is that how you want your team members submitting important information every day? Feeling invisible to the CEO or other members of the leadership team is also a significant challenge for deskless leaders. And burnout from always being on with no buffer zone because there's no option to remove themselves from where the action is, or even returning to their vehicle if they're on the road for their role. It's the same atmosphere, the same distractions with traffic and parking. They never really get to remove themselves from their workplace. So let's just say that being a deskless team member has certain differences that someone who sits at a desk with a computer has. Now, I'm also going to say it out loud. Many people who do work at a desk all day may like the sound of being deskless. You know, that idea of moving around throughout the day may sound really appealing to them. So here are my top 5 must-have support tools that you need to provide to any of your deskless team members. The first one, kind of obvious, mobile-friendly communication tools. So why does this matter? Well, deskless leaders are not checking emails at a laptop. They need updates and messages in real time on the go. Because here's the problem. Team members often miss key updates, policies, or urgent messages because communication is built for desk-based team members. So here's some ideas as to what you can use. Slack, of course, right? We want to create dedicated channels on Slack, though, to really organize your shift updates, any safety alerts, or any shout-outs that you want to give to anyone. You can also use Voxer. I kind of like this app. It sends walkie-talkie style voice messages to team members who can listen in between tasks. Another popular one is WhatsApp. Now, I think the reason why people like this one so much is because it's great for group texts. It's quick, it's familiar, and highly accessible for most people. Another one that I'm not super familiar with, but I kind of like the idea of, it's called Beekeeper. And it's designed specifically for frontline and deskless teams too. That's exactly why they created that one. So let's all go out and check that one out. So if you're going to choose one of these communication tools, how are you going to make the tool super effective for your deskless team members? Well, the first thing to always remember is to keep your messages short, clear, and visual if you can. So don't forget to add emojis, bullet points, or little quick videos. Always sends the message home quickly too. You want to set your communication drum beats, right? So you want to make sure that you maybe have things like a Monday morning kickoff message or end the week with some Friday wins. And be consistent. If you pop in and out of using the tool, it just won't stick and people will stop using it. And they'll just double down on their feeling of being isolated and out of touch. Here's the next must-have tool for your deskless team members that they're really going to appreciate. Visual SOPs and micro-training videos. So why does this matter? Well, deskless workers, they can't scroll through a PDF or click through your learning management system, however big or small that is, while they're on the factory floor, the shop floor, or at a job site. Because here's the problem. Written instructions are easily misinterpreted or skipped entirely, which is why video helps so much. Any training that you create needs to be fast, bite-sized, clear, and portable. So here are some things that you should consider. Loom. I love this tool. It's great for creating short explainer videos for new tools, processes, or safety reminders because it records your screen and your face. Another favorite of ours is Thinkific. We use this tool extensively for our trainings and resources that we create and share for our clients inside the Leadership Lab and the Team Leader Program. It's professional, easy to navigate, and super accessible on portable devices. Another popular one is Trainual. It's similar to Thinkific, and it's a great tool for mobile-friendly onboarding and SOPs. Or here's an idea. Why not create a private YouTube channel? You can create a library of how-to clips that they can access anytime. Or you could also create a private podcast channel, similar to the YouTube channel, but for audio-only messaging, training, stories, and updates. It's especially helpful to use with a curated list of episodes that can really accelerate your new hire onboarding process, or roll out new policies and standards, or simply provide a monthly CEO audio message sharing your news, insights, results, or celebrations, or even recognition messages. So how can you make your video or audio SOPs, or those super mini trainings, effective for your deskless team members? Think about this. Break the content into 2 to 5 minute segments and focus on one task at a time. So think bite-sized. Another way to make it super effective is to use real team members in real settings to show how it's done. People love a demonstration that they can recognize. And another great approach is to host these on a platform that doesn't require a login or uses one password for everyone. Just keep it simple. Here's another tool that your deskless team members would appreciate. voice message check-ins from your leadership team. Now, here's why this matters. Deskless workers miss FaceTime with leaders. A personal message can rebuild connection and morale quickly, putting an end to someone feeling overlooked. Because here's the problem. They often feel invisible to leadership unless something goes wrong. Yeah, that's the big complaint from team members. They don't appreciate you only showing up when things go sideways. It actually makes them dread seeing you. So here's some tools that you can consider. Voice memos on their phone. It's easy to send a 60-second update or encourage them right to their phone. Use Voxer. We talked about this earlier. It's great for two-way conversations. Or you could create a boomerang-style video using Loom or BombBomb. Now, this is where you combine video and voice to add more of a warm and collaborative message, or outreach, really. That's what you're doing with these. You're reaching out to those Deskless team members that are feeling isolated. So here's how to make your voice check-ins super effective for your Deskless team members. Record a 1-minute check-in once a week. Share a highlight, thank someone, or acknowledge a win. You could also send personalized messages to individuals after a tough shift or when they've reached a milestone. You could also use a rotating schedule to touch base with all your team members at all your locations and do that at least monthly so that no one is forgotten. Okay, we're on a roll. Here's the next tool that your Deskless team members would appreciate. Recognition systems that include everyone. So here's why this matters. Deskless team members often miss those in-office rewards or spontaneous shout-outs or, those spontaneous lunches and breakfast celebrations that we do. So without the visibility, great performance, it goes unnoticed. Because recognition is based towards those who you see most often, which is usually people that work on site or in an office setting. So proximity matters. So we want to go the extra mile for people who we don't see every day. Here are some tools for you to consider. There's one called Bonusly. That's a point-based system that works really well on mobile. Now, this is cool. I really like this idea, and I found out that Bonusly is a peer-to-peer recognition platform that lets team members give each other micro bonuses. So think small points-based rewards for great work, collaborations, or demonstrating those company values. There are desktop and mobile apps, and each team member would be given a monthly allowance of points that they could give out each month. And the points that they give out can be redeemed for things like gift cards, company swag, or a charitable donation. Another idea that's very traditional but super effective are shout-out boards in shared spaces. So here's what I mean by this. If you have a team room, a locker room, a kitchenette, or a hallway off your lobby, or even a warehouse space, you can lean into using whiteboards or posters to share news that everyone would be interested in knowing. Now, back in my corporate career, team rooms were accessorized with whiteboards extensively for highlighting everything from priorities and results to promotions, birth announcements, and birthdays, as well as hype about any new equipment we were getting or training opportunities that were coming. Another idea is to create postcards from the leadership team. Now, handwritten notes mailed to the job site or your team members' homes to commemorate years of service celebrations, terrific results, or anything you'd like to acknowledge to be sure the person notices that you are noticing them. Another one is to use group chats for public praise. So a quick thank you in Slack or text groups, they go a long way, for real. They really do. So here's some ideas on how to implement some of these tools. You could set up a Friday shout-out drumbeat with rotating peer nominations. You could tie recognition to core values or even safety behaviors. Or you could feature wins in a printed newsletter, blogs, social media posts, and definitely during team meetings. Okay, here's the last tool that your Deskless team members would appreciate. On-the-go wellness and support resources. Here's why this one matters. Deskless roles are often physically demanding. So small wellness supports build loyalty and helps to reduce burnout. Because here's the problem. Most wellness programs cater to desk-based roles with apps or things like desk yoga. Deskless teams need practical, accessible solutions. So here's some ideas for you. Physical stretch break posters. Now, you would place these posters that would highlight specific stretches that people could do, and you put them up in a break area or your locker room. Another idea is to create hydration stations. So you want to make water accessible, and you want to promote everyone drinking it. You could also have mental health hotline or QR cards. So these would be a durable wallet-sized card that people could tuck into their wallet or their purse, and they scan the QR code and they can get some great resources or even direct dialing to a hotline to be able to have someone to speak to. Okay, here's another cool idea. How about offering snack subsidies or those mobile lunch vendor trucks? Who doesn't love a food truck, especially one that is a surprise or one that shows up on a drumbeat? And, those snack subsidies or having that food truck arrive or like a special breakfast delivery or a lunch delivery really go a long way when it's been a particular difficult shift or it's been a long night. So here's how to make these wellness tools super effective for your Deskless team members. Start by surveying your team about what would look like help to them, and keep it anonymous if you can. Create a wellness corner on your job sites or in the lunchroom or where your vehicle fleet is parked so that people can literally walk by, pick up a few things that would look like help for them for the day. You could also offer rotating incentives. So maybe 1 month it's a hydration challenge. The next month it's all about stretches. So what else can you do to support your team members who don't sit at a desk? How about scheduling some site visits or some ride-alongs? How about using mini moments to connect, such as at shift exchange or loading times, or when they're bringing their company vehicle in for maintenance? Or how about booking some quick coffee chats? Here's a great idea. Set up regional liaisons or peer leaders for support so that they get more face time, more interaction, more connection with other people. Not just you, but we want to make sure that those Deskless team members get to see other people from the leadership team too. So to wrap up, just because your team doesn't sit at a desk doesn't mean that they should be left out of the leadership conversation. In fact, they're often the face of your business, interacting with clients and customers regularly. They're also often the ones doing the heavy lifting, literally and figuratively. The tools we covered today are simple, practical, and powerful ways to show your mobile and frontline team members that you see them, you value them, and you're here to lead them well, even if you're not standing right beside them. Thanks for tuning in to the Stacking Your Team podcast, Smart Leadership for Women Who Mean Business. If today's episode helped you see your leadership in a new way, I'd love to hear about it. Come connect with me on Instagram, where I'm at Stacking Your Team, and tell me, what are you working on in your business right now? And if you're ready to go further than this podcast, check out the Leadership Lab. It's my high-touch coaching experience designed for women leading a growing team. We're welcoming new members right now. You can find all the details over at the Stacking Your Team website. And if you're tuning into this podcast because you work somewhere and you're wanting to develop your leadership skills, I invite you to start following our sister company, Thousand Islands Leadership Consulting. Check us out on Instagram or LinkedIn for unbiased career guidance designed to help ambitious people have a bigger impact, get promoted, and live a better life. So until next time, let's do less managing and more leading by making space to lead and letting go of the rest.